Echo the stories that ignite a fire.
Right. I'm really excited to have you join me on this podcast. This is Echoes of Wellington, and I'm your host, Wellington Osazoa. And today I am joined with a very interesting guy who's, his story is really inspiring. Of course, he's an immigrant to Canada, and we're going to be digging deep into his story, on his journey, the lessons he's learned so far. And I must say that usually when I think about immigrants here in the diaspora, I'm always very passionate about our journey and about our story. And one of the major reasons why we have these conversations is that we want to go beyond the headlines. We want to go beyond the statistics, the flash lines, the uploads on WhatsApp and social media handles, to really unravel, real life lived experiences of immigrants in this part of the world.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined here today by Mr. Ibukun Orefuja.
Oh my God!
Did I pronounce it well?
You pronounce my name better than myself.
Yes. And in this part of the city, or in this part of Canada, Alberta and Edmonton is popularly known as IBK.
Yeah.
Everybody knows him as IBK.
That's the name I grew up with.
So IBK is good to have you on this platform,
Thank you so much for having me.
on this conversation. Really glad to have you here, and thank you for coming on board to have this conversation with me, right? So let's delve into your journey.
Your introduction is very interesting. You're giving me there's this Nigerian OAP, what's the name? Olisa Adeboa.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you for that.
Anyway, my name is IBK, Ibukun Orefuja. The IBK is the name I grew up with. It was so funny because when I was like very, very young in school, that's what everybody calls me. IBK. Literally in Nigeria, Ibukun, most people just call it IBK. But for mine, when I was in school, I thought that was like my first name until when I grew up, I'm like, okay, Ibukun is the first name, but it's just the way, so I'm so used to the name.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a tech guy and serial entrepreneur. So I'm passionate about community building, raised by parents who value education so much. And then it was very inspiring. It's been a very inspiring journey. And to understand, my journey very well, I kind of like to start from when I was like, maybe literally when I was born, born, amazing parents. I'm the 6th out of 7 children for my dad. And then, I was raised with love. I was very, very adored by my parents. I know right from, very young, I was very ambitious. I was very passionate. So at the time that I was finishing secondary school, my mom was very, very sick. So, when you're trying to transition from secondary school to uni, where you're writing JAMB and all of this. So my mom was diagnosed with cancer. So
oh my God.
So she was battling. So while I was waiting to, maneuver, going from secondary school to university, she passed away.
Oh wow.
So when she passed away, it really hit me so bad because I was very, very close to my mom.
Wow.
I was like very close. But at least I did my 4-year in university and then, transitioned into NYC. I served in the North, Taraba State. Very, very great experience.
Is that what informed the?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't even keep my beard.
Okay.
But at least, I had a good spell of 1 year, Taraba State. After then, I started working in Lagos. I was working for an oil servicing company, Hydro Dive.
Right.
And then I worked there for like 10 months. But I just felt like that 9 to 5, actually that Lagos hustle bustle wasn't just for me. It was like, how it is, like wake up 4 a.m., you have to beat traffic on Tourmaline Bridge.
Yeah.
So after 9 months, I quit the job and I just felt like I wanted to start my own business. So here's the thing. I'm from Ogun State. I was living in Shagam, but I lived Lagos a lot of my life.
Right.
So most people in Shagam then, when they need IT help, everybody goes to Lagos is where everybody goes. So I quit my job without even telling my father. I quit my job and I went home to Shagam. I said, Daddy, I quit my job and I want to establish the first IT company in Shagam. It was like, wow, are you not?
What did you study in the university, by the way?
Oh yeah, computer information system.
Okay, so I see the correlation.
Computer information system. So So yeah, when I quit the job, I told him about my plan and all of that. Then it was refusing that I know and I need to work. So I'm like, and I know I really wanted to start my own business. So my dad is a little bit difficult. He's a tough man. So and he's very strict. So I had to go call his friends and my mom. So I said, please let me talk to my dad. Dad, this is what I want to do. And I promise it will be successful. So they reached out to my dad. They said, Ore, your son wants to start his own business, And the way I described it, because we have a huge land that just sitting.
That was just there.
It wasn't nothing. And, I was like, boom. Next day, my dad is a very spontaneous guy. Doesn't waste time. Before I know it, architect, come. And, within 2 months, it was ready. It became Fuja Complex. Well, Orefuja is my last name, so it became Fuja Complex.
Wow.
So that's how I started it. So my dad just said, you know what? You're too talented to be here. So the intention was, he just wanted me to go and get like study abroad and then come back and then expand your business.
Expand the
right?
business, yeah.
So I started researching, okay, if I want to travel, where do I want to go to? I don't want to go to Europe. I just want to, I have so many friends in Europe. So, and I just want to go somewhere. So I'm like, okay, US, maybe not. Australia. I was thinking Australia or then Canada. I'm like, maybe Canada. So I don't I've never applied for visa in my life. So I just applied for study. I applied to a school. So it was U of T gave me an admission. Ottawa, University of Ottawa gave me admission. There's one in Quebec as well. Then Nate in Edmonton. So I just said, Nate. I just picked Nate, and I just went online. I applied for student visa. Never traveled out of Nigeria my entire life.
So Canada was the first,
and I just walked.
The first journey to international airports.
Yeah, I was like, then I started reading. I'm like, they say Canada is cool. I'm like, it's just exaggeration. Which one is cool? I'm like, yeah, just making it up. Guys. It's not that. I will even watch videos online. I'm like, it's not. So
yeah, it's not possible.
And I was like, I found myself in Canada.
Wow, that's amazing. That's like 12 years now, almost. Yeah,
12.
Yeah, that's like 12 years. 12 years. It's been a long time.
It'll be 13.
It's been a long time, and your tone has not changed. You're not
original now.
You're not for me. The tone has not.
I have to speak the word. This is my mother tongue.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what happened to the Fuja business?
So, good question. So while I was here, the business was still, it was still, for the first few months, it was operating.
Right.
But then, there's a lot of mismanagement, and because I was so focused on school, after a few months in Canada, I just closed it down. I just closed it down. So then around that time, my dad was kind of getting sick. So, I could tell his health wasn't all of that. So what I was trying to do is and when I came to know, it was supposed to be a 2 years program. Right. So I was like, I wanted to just crush my course. So I spoke to the school and say, is it possible for me to take more courses? Instead of taking 4 classes, maybe it's 7, 8. So I can do, instead of 4 semesters, I can do 3 semesters. So my plan is I just want to get out of school. Maybe depending on how it is. If I can settle in Canada, I want to bring my dad to come and work with me, right?
Yeah.
So then when the business closed, I just told him to give the shop my space to, we should rent it to someone else and take all the rent. So I was still kind of, we're calling, and at that time I was going through a lot of health crisis. So then in
yourself,
him,
yeah, okay.
So in June 2013, the man could not stand it though. Hey, you have to apply for Canadian visa. He just wanted to come see me. So he came to Canada.
Wow.
It was good. So he came, I took him to school. He met, I took him to my department International Center. So he met my people. We really had a good time. So I was like, Dad, I promise you I'll do well in school. When it came to Canada, I took him to clinic just to do some checkup. But when I realized that his health wasn't all that, and then when he left back to Nigeria, when I talked to him on the phone, his voice was very shaky. So I'm like, that is how I just say, you know what, for now, IBK just focus on school, because that's the priority right now. That maybe after school, that we can figure something out. So I just kind of now let him start managing the complex by himself, right? And then it was, so school agreed, I took 3 semesters, I crushed my programs. I will never advise anybody to do it. It is stressful. Taking 4 courses alone is painful.
Yeah.
I took 8 semester.
Wow.
So I remember when I was about to do my capstone project, like I have 2 weeks left to finish school, mate. And I wanted to give up and say, I can't, like 2 weeks just to hang in there. I said, I just wanted to say, let me just drop the classes, just 2 weeks. So I'm like, I said, if I can endure this next 2 weeks, I can survive anything in my life. So I did my capstone project. So when we did capstone project, and they invite industries to come and hear our project and all of that. Right there, some of the companies that came saw, and then through a classmate, they interviewed the classmate, and the classmate referred me.
Right.
And then I got the job like instantly. So I was gonna call my dad and say, Daddy, finally school is over.
Job. Yeah.
And it was the day. The same week I finished school was when I got the job. I was like, finally, okay. What next? At least should I work for a while, build my experience, and come to Nigeria? And then boom, I got a call. Dad is dead.
Oh my God.
So when that happened, I'm like,
oh my God.
Because my plan really is after school. I wasn't intending on staying in Canada. I wanted to go back to Nigeria. Like I just, So I was like, I have to like, should I stay? Should I? But my dad is the only reason why
you would have loved to go back.
I love him so much. So I'm like, when he passed away, and I said, you know what? That was 2014. I said, let me just find a purpose for my life here in Canada and just move on with my life, right? Just wasn't where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always, the story is always like this, when you have something back home in Nigeria and then you don't have somebody who is going to actually have your interest, right? It's either you're going back and forth, or you have somebody who is, once that person is not there, like in the person of your dad, right? It'll always be very difficult. So sorry to hear about your dad. It's a sad story.
The only thing sometimes I wish he was here to see
what you've become and the stuff you're doing. Sometimes for me, my mom is that person, right? And sometimes I just wish she's here right now to see me and and see what my journey's been like and all of that. Yeah, so I know that feeling. Yeah, man, it is well. But you're doing great. You're thriving. You're thriving, and I'm sure your dad. I'm sure your dad is proud of you and all the great stuff you're doing. Right. So let's come to Canada now. I mean, great story about your journey in Nigeria, right? So when you landed in Canada, the first few months, first 1 year, 2 years, what were the shocks you had? What were the adjustments? What were the goofings? What were the goofings too, right?
I didn't like it when I came to this country, because the first culture shock, because it was January, like I came straight into winter. I left Nigeria with just jeans and t-shirts. So I remember when I was in Amsterdam, layover, and then your connecting flight was to Calgary. I saw people were looking at me like mysterious, like, do you know where you're going?
Do you know where you're going to?
Because I didn't know, like, the only thing I had in my bag was a hoodie. I didn't wear it. It was just in my bag. So I'm like, I'll be fine. Also, everybody on coats, on jackets. I'm like, I don't get it, right? So when I came to Canada, the first thing, like when so Calgary was, the first point in Canada, then Calgary to Edmonton. I remember taking my luggage. When I went out of the airport door, I ran back inside. So that was the first shock. I'm like, how am I going to survive? Then I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, why did you do this to me? Like, I was doing okay in Nigeria. Like, why would I? Then, it kind of felt like, because like coming as a student after, so I finished school 2008. I was here 2013, like 5 years coming to school again. So the culture shock hit me so bad because it was different. And trying to navigate the transport system, because here, when you take the bus, you go to the bus stop.
Yeah.
Sometimes, in Lagos, they will tell you.
They'll be shouting. This is where we are, yeah.
But this one is like, I remember one time I was walking to the bus stop and I saw the bus. Maybe I was like, 50 meters away.
The driver is looking at you.
He's looking at me like, I was just walking. And the guy he didn't stop because there was nobody there. He left. I was like, hey, the guy didn't wait. So I was like, what is this? So later I realized that people were like, IBK, that's how it works, because you have to run.
It happens to everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't know. Then the food as well, because I'm like, I was used to eating, of course, cultural appropriate food. Then I had to like adjust. And then it gets dark quickly. 5 p.m. Like everybody's, so I'm like,
Around that
And as
time.
a student again, because I'm like, how do I even adjust as a student? So everything, I'm still trying to figure out myself. So I just fell into depression. I'm like, I don't think it was a good choice for me to come to Canada. I just did not, I didn't like it. Then when I remember when I go to school, then, it was very fast paced. You have to do assignments,
Fast paced. Yeah.
labs.
Yeah.
So it was just too, I mean, Nigeria is fast paced, but this level of fast paced, I ended up doing assignments. So I was like, okay, I don't think this is just, so it felt like I made the wrong choice because it wasn't my expectation.
Yeah.
Right. My expectation was like, oh, I'm going to Canada, I'm like, but it's not like
Like
that.
you're hot, you're smart,
Yeah,
now you're having to
exactly.
play catch up.
Exactly. Then, when I, start settling, I have to get jacket. It was even to be wearing layers of clothes and boots. It was just too much for me because I just like, I just
to
like
be light. Yeah.
like, wear my suit and all of that. So it's different. But I just thought I paid so much money as an international student. So there's no way I will let that be a waste because my dad will be so disappointed that, he invested a lot in me, right? So the first semester was very, very rough, But I think around May 2013, at least the weather was getting warmer. So then I started making friends. I remember the first time so here's a funny story. When I went to, when I was in NATE so I put a small advert in the International Center board that I repair laptops. Mind you, when I came to Canada then, I cannot work because I think you need to do one full semester before you can get a off-campus work permit.
Work then, wow.
Then they don't, you cannot work. You can only work in campus. So I tried to work on campus, but it was because I came in January, so it was already filled up, right? Most vacancies. So then I used to what was I doing? I just put that placard on like a small paper on that I repair laptops. So there's one guy that went to the international center. So they told him that, oh, is a Nigerian guy. They said, oh, there's a Nigerian guy that he has a laptop.
Yeah.
He said there's a laptop that repair laptops. I was like, oh, let me try him. So this guy called me and then brought his laptop. I was in Nigeria. I was even happy that finally I met a Nigerian guy. So I fixed his laptop. So I was like, I don't even know how to charge him because I'm like, I don't want to charge him. And I said, IBK, I'll take you to a restaurant. So we took the bus. So it took me to a Nigerian restaurant called Church on 118 Avenue. And for the first time, I felt like a bird. I saw boys speaking pidgin. I'm like, how far? I was like, so this exists in Edmonton, and I had no idea. I was like, oh my God. I was excited. It felt like I was in
like the community.
I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, that feeling, I can't describe it. And that was like after 5 months in Canada. So I got there, met all of it. So that's how I was able to start making friends. This guy was like, I thank God I wasn't like on him, like pay me my money. So he just bought food for me. And I got to restaurants. I started making some social friends. And that really, really helped me acclimatize more in Canada. Then I started now understanding the system, because simple things like I remember sometimes I'm going to the toilet. So I remember they call it washroom. I really call it washroom. So those small lingos, like it was just
a lot.
It was just a lot for me mentally. I just felt like I wasn't mentally prepared to the kind of way I'm gonna adjust to life as a student. And because of the 5 years working after school, then trying to reconnect
to catch up.
But I was like, at the end of the day, international students pay a lot of money, and I just can't let the money go. So I had to really work then. Then luckily for me, while in school, I picked up a peer mentorship job and lab monitor job on campus. So that really helped me adjust to life. So 3 major things that gave me the culture shock was the weather, food, and the culture was just different. Nigeria is like, it's very, social and all of that. But here I was like, to even talk to people.
Everybody mind their business.
Everybody mind their business. I was like, to talk to people, I was like very, very scared. Even when I'm talking, like, I was like, the person has to like, put their really like,
what are you saying?
Yeah. So I'm like, I struggled with that a lot. But at the end of the day, I just realized that, there are people that have been here and there's a way they, adjusted. So you just have to, adjust, right? So, and after a while, I adjusted. Food too, food was one of the things that was also giving me culture shock. But over time, when I started meeting people like from different backgrounds. And that's something I love about Canada. There's a lot of diversity.
Diversity.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you a story. I was in internet because I made the international center my home, right? So
Okay.
yeah, just like it,
Yeah,
but I'll
yeah.
go. So they have a projector. So
Yeah.
as you can go watch TV.
Yeah.
Sometimes when Arsenal is playing
You just-
Champions
yeah.
League and it's daytime, I'll just go there, we can watch TV. So one time I was playing Davido, Aye. So when I was there, so the people was now the students, like international students,
Yeah.
like some from India, China, Philippines. Everybody was asking me, what is the
Yeah, what does
song?
that mean? Yeah.
Who's the video? Started talking about Afrobeat, talking about Fela, started talking about different. They were like, oh, so the international center coordinator watched
That happened.
He now saw that we're talking cultural because now then the other students started talking. We're now playing. They'll play their own song, their own like version of
Yeah, it'd be like they're popular.
So they liked it, and I said, you know what? How about we start a conversation circle? I'm like, what does that even mean? So we now talk culture, food, and all of that. And because I like talking about culture a lot. So the international center coordinator now said I should wait. And I said, I like what you did when you started talking about Davido, whiskey, and all of that. We can actually start a peer mentor group. I said, okay. They now wrote a proposal to the school and they approved it. So it'll be a paid gig. So what it means is that we just come to the international center, talk. Then we'll now start helping international students, because one of the things, not just me, a lot of international students, when they come to Canada, they're isolated.
They're isolated, yeah.
Because they don't, everybody's. So now they want students to come out more. They want to create a safe space. So I was the first person to start the international center peer mentor group. Then they will now build a team of, I think, 5. So what we'll do is that when there's a new student, we'll go to the airport, welcome them, tell them how to get bus pass, health card, where to go shop for jacket. Then we started doing school field trip. We go to West Edmonton Mall. We could go bowling.
Oh wow,
so
nice.
We started, and it was a paid gig.
Yeah.
Then every week you can think about something you can host at the international center. So for every time you plan the event and you do the event, they'll pay you. So, and that is when I realized that I used to be, even though I'm very extrovert, I have my limitations. I don't like public speaking. I don't like really being in the face of people. But I just realized that so that's one of the major changes that really developed me. And here sometimes too, if you want to work in a corporate space, right, interpersonal relationship, it's extremely important.
Skill, top notch.
You need to have a skill of working with people, right? So that is one of the changes that I think I'll be forever grateful that Canada gave to me, that even till today, I realized that it has been there, but I just didn't have the opportunity to let it out. And it became, a turning point for me.
Yeah. Wow, that's great, man. That's great. So in the midst of all this, trying to build relationships and all of that, down to maybe your first job and your career journey. Before I ask you about what you currently do and all of that, were there times where you would say you experienced some form of discrimination? Did you have all those experiences at all?
Not necessarily discrimination. So I did not personally experience discrimination. Like I did not. As a matter of fact, one of the best things that happened to me as a student was, I remember there's this man. It just became like an angel, Papa Wayne. So Wayne used to be like 50 years ago. He was a student at NATE. So while I was organizing this peer mentorship program, right, we went for bowling. So when we did the bowling, I was a runner-up. So the lady that led. So what this international center wanted to do was that they wanted to, the person that win the bowling competition will go to dinner with a NATE alumni. It's called cross-cultural experience. That is what they wanted to do. So then this lady, the day they were supposed to take her out on dinner, she did not come. I was just bored after class. I was just international. And I said, Papa, when he's here, the lady that won the bowling was in there. And I said, well, the runner up, which is me, I should go out with, go on a date and dinner with Papa Wayne and another 2 alumni. So then they took me out. We had a good dinner. Then they took me to the Oilers game, hockey game. So I was like, wow, people are really nice here. So they took me there, and then we watched hockey game, and this, Papa we bought me the Oilers. So no, it took me to the merchandise store at it used to be at Coliseum. He said, IBK, look at this store. Anything you want, pick whatever you want. It's all paid for. I was like, oh, okay, I wasn't expecting this. So I got Oilers hoodie, paid for it. And then after that, it took me, it took me, and I said, what does a Nigerian man do on a Saturday? Because this dinner was on a Friday. I said, well, I just study. And I said, if you don't mind, I can take you to a Promise Keeper Christian conference for men. That if you don't want to have anything doing on Saturday, I could take you. So sure. So he came to pick me up on Saturday morning, and then we went to the church. It was a full day. It's like a conference, but it was a full day church service. And wow, what a turning point. Like, I was really inspired, and all of that. So from then, Papa Wayne adopted me as a son. Papa Wayne just saw, an aspiring younger man in Canada, and he just took me on. And then he really, really helped me a lot. He helped me financially, even when I was struggling with a home as well, really, really helped me with accommodation and all of that. So it literally became my father. So when my dad passed away, it was one that kind of took up on that father role for me.
Wow.
So I wouldn't personally say I experienced discrimination that way. It's on the other side, I experienced love. So much love from from the Edmonton community. So yeah.
You are one of the lucky ones.
I was lucky.
I'm sure you've heard stories.
Oh yeah.
You are one of the lucky ones. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is that I do actually believe that the life is not all black and white.
Yep.
Right? Some of the favors now that you're mentioning that you've gotten so far would have been as a result of maybe some of the seeds that your parents planted, right?
I believe in that, yeah.
I'm a Christian, and I believe you're a Christian too, right? There's a scripture that talks about how God multiplies our seed sown and increases the fruit of our righteousness.
That's true.
So what that means is sometimes the righteousness of your parents is increased. One generation, the next, and all. So my next question to you now would be that you came in I didn't come in as a student. I came in as a full-blown PR guy with my wife and 3 children. So I came with, it was a full package, family of 5. You came in alone.
I came alone, Ranger.
So definitely our experiences, yes, at some point, of course, at this level now we're experiencing the same thing, but the entry point, my experience and yours definitely would not have been exactly the same, right? So you came in light, you came in as a student, and I'm sure there were a few challenges being a student, but that's not where I even want to go to right now. And over the past 12 years, I mean, I see you now. I moved into Edmonton, and I started seeing Black Business Edmonton everywhere, and all of a sudden I started seeing the setting Ibukun, IBK everywhere. And the funny thing is, when I see your videos and the stuff you do, I'm like, how did this guy get to this point? Because I'm seeing you with ministers, government officials. I'm seeing you with Minister of Justice, of Jobs. Like, I'm seeing you rolling with government in this place, and I'm like, how did this guy get here? And now, I mean, with just this is your story. A student that came in here 12 years ago, gone through, passed through the process, started building a career, and now you are rolling with government. You're rolling with the provincial government. and it'll be interesting to know how you got here, right? So maybe my question would be, we'll probably tie 1, 2, 3 questions together. One would be that in these 12 years of being in Canada, what would you say that there's been a low point in your life or a high point in your life, something that happened that triggered, that triggered you to where you are right now? You know why I say low point? Sometimes we find ourselves at rock bottom in life, and our rock bottom becomes a solid foundation.
Yes.
So your rock bottom can become a solid foundation where you take a leap. You get what I mean? So your experience might be, was there a time where you hit that low point? Or if that's not your situation, was there something that happened that changed the trajectory of your experience here in Canada, so that now you are ruling with government? and you will soon tell us what you're doing with government. Yeah, because
so there's something that will happen in your life, which is like, is like lowest point of your life that gives your life purpose.
Yeah.
So in June 2020, I suffered something that I thought could end my life.
Wow.
And it was really bad. So, I remember, just 2020, I was out of nowhere. I was having palpitation. Like, I haven't experienced something like that before. Like, my heart rate went over 190, BPM. I was like, what is this? I thought it was heart attack. Call 911, then they have to like do CPR on me.
For real?
Yeah, it was so bad. I thought I was going to die. I started foaming.
Oh, wow.
I was like, then I remember they gave me, there's a medication they put under my tongue just to like, then my paramedics were like, oh my God, this guy, like, and I was shaking.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what caused it. And I got to the hospital. When I saw the doctor, they made it, they made see the doctor quickly. And then they did every test. They didn't find anything. Wow. So like they sent me back on no medication. So this thing happened 6 more times. Like, so June, July, August, September. Then they see your family doctor, they give me medication. So they said I'm suffering anxiety and depression. So I was like, wow. And I job boy, how would I be?
With all the what's up?
I'm like, I have a good son. I know maybe during COVID as well, it hit me so bad. I don't know. It wasn't even COVID. I thought it was COVID.
So this anxiety thing is real.
Oh my God. I always tell people, you don't wait till you experience it before you know how bad it is. Like, it was bad. This is like me going to ER 6 times within 4 months. It got to a stage, I feel like I was a nuisance to call 911 because like this thing happened and I couldn't sleep and I was literally, there was one time when the heart rate was like so bad. When I'm just like, okay, the death should just come. Like, I thought I was going to die. So in here, they have to, they do tests before they can treat you.
Yeah.
But when they do blood tests, urine tests, they even took fluid from my spinal cord. They do stool tests. They did every test, heart test. They couldn't find anything. They just said I was okay. So then my family doctor, when they said, I'm sorry for my anxiety, I just did not believe it. So they gave me a medication.
Like, what does that mean? Nigeria, they will hit your head and say, my friend, will you wake up? What's going on here?
Yeah. So when they gave me a medication, I took it. The medication didn't really work my body. So I even felt worse. I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought I was literally going to die. So then there was one that happened, the last one that happened. So June was when I started. So July, August, September, October, I was just working on my computer desk. So I used to experience this thing they call it cold flash. So it's like, I could be walking or driving or just sitting down like this. And the way I'm sitting like this, I'll just like this. So my body will just like this and I can't control it. I will just shake. Yeah. And it's like, it feels like electric shock in my brain.
Right.
So I'm like, what is this? I know in Nigeria, most of these things we spiritualize things, they're like, maybe it's something.
Yeah.
So we do prayers, all of those things, right? So then in October, I was just working on my computer desk and then all of a sudden, so it's like my eyeball rolled back and I felt like this electric shock in my brain. So I screamed so loud and I fell on the floor.
Oh my God.
So I called 911, they came. They were like, not again. So they took me to the ER in the Sturgeon Hospital, which was in St. Albert. So after 12 hours at this last incident, they said I would see a psychiatrist. I was like, what? What? I said, hey, God. I know in Nigeria, psychiatrist, like you think you're going to see, maybe you're running insane.
Yeah, mental issue.
So I was like, no. I'm like, IBK, you suffered a lot. Just see this doctor. So when I broke with this psychiatrist, I saw him and, I presented my case to him and, he spoke to me a lot. And then he wrote me a medication to try. And for the first time in 6 months, I slept. Slept. When I woke up in the morning, I was celebrating sleep. I remember holding my daughter. I'm like, Olivia, I slept. Like sleep is supposed to be like normal.
Normal.
I
Wow.
like,
Wow.
so I'm like, finally. So I had to tell that, there's also like, I'm going to be taking medication every day, every day, every day, every day. So after like few months, I felt I was okay and I stopped taking the medication. I didn't know. And this medication just can't stop. When I stopped taking medication, I felt worse than how I was before.
Wow. Wow.
Then medication did not work.
Work again.
Ha.
Wow.
And 2020, 2021, I was just like, what is this? 2022, And then it felt like my body became an experiment. The doctors tried this, I even started jumping from one doctor to another. I took all the medication possible. I just couldn't sleep. So there was one time a doctor really saw me and he presented my case. So I think he's a senior doctor and he's also a Nigerian doctor. So he tried a combination of a medication that worked for me. And since then, now refer me back to my psychiatrist and said, let's try this. That was in 2022. So they found the right combination of medication that worked and I started feeling better. So that was when I decided that, you know what? And for some reason, after that treatment, I started feeling better. For some reason, my brain was sharper. Like I have more clarity. I was not telling myself that I must be stupid to feel suicidal. Like, IBK, life is good. Life is beautiful. Like, look at how beautiful, like,
right.
So I have more clarity. So that dark period
opened a new chapter
for you. Me. And then it was all those thoughts put together. 2022, and I said, you know what? Going forward, 2023, I want my life to have a purpose.
Daily. That was the daily. Amazing.
That was the birth of BBE.
Wow.
I use my experience to talk about mental because mental health is not as easy as, or it's not as what people when you hear mental, people
it's not as trivial as people.
It is bad. Like it is bad. Like I'm telling you, there's a way. When your brain is telling you that you have no value in life.
Wow.
Like, and I believe this. It's like, for example, the way I'm here now, beautiful space. I will feel like this place is terrible. Like you don't see anything. Even when I'm driving, everything looked like gloomy, and I just felt like it's not worth it. Wow. I know, but mentally affects your brain, thought process, the work you're doing. Right. I'm like, what's even the point of what? Why is the earth created? Why was I born? Why did my parents even give birth to me? That was
all of a sudden. Wow.
All of a sudden, and sometimes you have to advocate for yourself. Like I cried out for help because even friends could not understand, families could not even understand what was going on. I got to a stage, it felt like this guy is just complaining, and that was what pained me because like the people, that I was trying to explain how, but people did not, because if it's not cancer or diabetes or a terminal illness, so because it wasn't all of that, nobody really took it serious, right? And that's the part that pained me the most because there's a stigma on mental health. And I'm telling you, you don't want to experience it to align it because it can happen to anybody. It can. Because sometimes it could be a wider chain, it could be anything could trigger it, and anything could trigger you to have these thoughts and anxiety and all of that, right? And then when I got better, I even felt like, I don't want to say it's a good thing that happened to me, but compared to my life journey from when I was born till after I was treated, I'm telling you, my life got better. My thought process got better. My energy got better. And I feel like maybe God is using that to touch lives. Because there was one video that I created on my social media, BB, where I talked about mental health.
I think I saw that. Was it during one Father's Day or something? Exactly. I saw that.
Father's Day. So that video, I've saved lives. I have a friend in England. I was going through rough mental health, but he never sought for help. And I told him, you got to go to the doctor. And I told him what he should do.
Yeah.
He did. I've had people in the community that were experiencing suicide ideation. When they saw that video, it opened their eyes.
They knew they were not alone.
And I started referring, and I started seeing people one-on-one. So it was bad. Like, it was bad. And I just felt like that situation made me dug deep into my heart. And I said, I need to find purpose for my life. Right? And I feel like maybe God just wanted to use me to do more. Right. So ever since then, when I'm relating with people, I see it not as business or transaction, but an act of service. And I call it servitude because now I'm telling you, my life is better now. Way better now than even before I was diagnosed. Or I'm telling you, I'm living my best life. I like my heart is peaceful, and joyful, and all of that. You know, and there's nothing wrong in taking medication. There's a stigma around it. So with that experience, I've created workshops. I've done programs to educate people about mental health because it is real.
It's real.
Like anxiety is not as it's not something that people say, oh, it's just anxiety. It is bad. Like this thing kills your system slowly. And people have died from this thing. Because when your brain cannot function and when you can, you just can't see a reason why you are alive, is the worst. If it was like a terminal illness where they would say do a surgery, it's different. But this one
you can't even explain it.
You can't even explain it, right? Yeah.
See, your story is really inspiring, and it just, for me, I think this particular point just really emphasizes the resilience and the strength of the human spirit. Like I said to you earlier on, sometimes, as immigrants, we all have, yours now has to do with health, right? A lot of us, we've all experienced one level of rock bottom. So these things are real. And for me, I think, so your story, the reason why is, like, I remember when I listened to this video of yours on Instagram, what I thought to myself was, and I know you did mention then that you were still going through, it's not as if you were free from all of this. You were still going through some of these things. Now, look, imagine the sound thing you talked about, living with that. You are here right now with that going on. You're doing your initiative. You're doing, I mean, you're raising funds or so of food and stuff for Jamaica for whatever that happened to them recently, right? Like you're living for others practically. Meanwhile, you have your own issues.
I do.
Do you get what I mean? And for me, I think that's just the height of selflessness, of living a life of purpose and living a life of servitude, like you said. And maybe just also, other persons would draw inspiration and encouragement from this to say, look, you don't have to be in a perfect situation for you to live your life to the fullest. You can, you can, in the midst of, whatever the chaos or whatever this challenge is, you can always find sunshine. You can still fulfill purpose. You can still live life. So tell me how, from this low point, you now just, from 2022, all of a sudden, it's as if, what God has done for you now is like compressed time and space. So the things you couldn't have achieved all this while, now you are achieving all of them. So how did you, so I know you're into IT, right? Like your 9 to 5. And then I see you everywhere now with government officials doing fairs, business. So if and I'm like, I see you on radio stations, on TV stations, and I'm like, what's going on with this guy? So tell me, what's this stuff you do about?
So
let's know about it.
2023, every year you define your year, what you want to do. So January 2023. Initially, I when I went online, I searched for Nigerian Business Community of Edmonton. I didn't see any result. So I said the African Business Community of Edmonton, right? I didn't see any result. But my intention was I wanted to go and use my IT skill to kind of help the community, like, or sell myself, right? So that's obviously, let me just say black, because I know that we don't have a black business community. That's what my assumption. So I went online, I searched, I didn't find anything. And I said, oh, that's interesting. I said, well, let me try Black Business Alberta or Black. I didn't find anything. There were a few Facebook groups. I'm not talking about groups, like a hub where, so I was like, oh, that's interesting. Then, I was like, I was just pondering about it. Why can't we not have it? So I went on social media, like, okay, let me create something called Black Community Edmonton. So after like few days, and I said, community sounds like advocate. I'm not doing advocacy or anything political. I just something entrepreneurial, right? And now deleted and now changed it to Black Business Edmonton. Started reaching out to people that know have side also. I say, I created this page, follow. Then so I started seeing a lot of business owners follow the page. So what I'll do is that out of my free time, I'll write a script about the business, tag, do all tags on the image. I'm not talking about social media tag, when I download their images, I'll write the all tags so that when you post on Instagram, it's like people that don't follow the page can see. So I write a script for a lot of businesses, and before I know it, it was just like something I was just like, let me just try and see. But I just kind of want to also use my IT expertise to help a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
So I just created a page, and I wasn't intending it to become anything. I'm just playing with it. So honestly, if you ask me how it grew, I have no idea. But the only thing I know is that I love our community so much, and I love Edmonton so much, and it has always been my dream to build something great for Edmonton, right? So I don't know how I did it. One thing you mentioned about maybe meeting government officials, I just think that's great because I would take it back to when I was very, very little. Like I've always had that grace where when I walked into spaces or rooms, like people just like I don't know if it's a charisma or if it's just, but people just find it easy to talk to me, and I attract good energy around me. It has been there since I
Yeah.
was childhood.
Yeah.
Nobody took me to government officials. I just, maybe through my initiative, I made them, I speak, I just, the passion, because the passion was burning. Sometimes I remember when I started, I was very passionate, like I'm creating something Black Business Edmonton. Initially, people didn't really understand, but I know that there's this, I'm like, I want to create something.
There's a gap here
But
that needs to be
like, what are
filled.
you
Yeah.
trying to do?
Yeah.
Know what? But, I just roll with my idea and I put my energy, my effort into it that sometimes, I remember that when I started, I used to be afraid that, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. It scares me. And I remember I stumbled up on this an Instagram post that said, when you dream and it scares you, it means a good dream.
It's a viable
I'm
one.
not gonna lie, the BB scared me. Like I was scared, and I just ran with it. So I started promoting, then I'll do a meet and greet, I'll meet people, and from there consistency, managing with my 9 to 5 and also being there for my family and all of that. Out of nowhere, the love just came. Then some of these government officials learned about what I'm doing. I remember when I did one of the meet and greet, I invited some of them to come and speak, and they love what I'm doing for the community. And they could just tell that this young man is passionate, because I wasn't looking to make money.
So for
off
the
it.
records, which government officials have example of some government officials that
I
are able to make?
love some of the MLAs, MLA on Hall, which has been one of our amazing supporter. She's the first Black MLA, I think, in Alberta. Then MLA Sharif, MLA David Shepherd, former Minister Randy Bolsonaro, used to be Minister for Immigration, and then it became Minister of the, I think, Minister of employment at some point on the federal
Job
level.
employment,
So there's
yeah.
different
Okay.
level of government,
Yeah.
city government,
Yeah.
provincial government, and then federal government. So I've met MLA Tammy Yao, MLA Shane Getson, and all these people come to my event, and it's just I write to the office and invite them to the programs, and luckily, they also there's a big Uncle Kuchi. So I tell you, he knows my idea. So sometimes I also connect with some of these government officials, and I just write to them. But when they come to an event, they see value in it, and then I didn't need like any special invitation. I just talk to them like I would talk to a brother or a sister, and they just found love in what I
What
do.
you do.
So I didn't really see it as I could become someone meeting all these amazing great people, but it's just maybe me going to a gala and I say, oh, that's MLA, that's one MLA, and I walk up to them, and also, I think my parent did a good job raising us, right, with respect. I bow, I would shake hands, I'll greet them. My name is IBK, this is what I'm doing for the community. I would like to meet with you just to talk about what I'm doing, and and they saw the passion, like they could feel the passion that this guy is up to something great. And yeah, nobody really literally, it's not like someone took me to, even the media station as well. I just wrote.
So like how many businesses do you have in the hub? Like
about 355 now. Yeah.
What?
But if I'm talking about
within 2 years.
Yeah, if I'm talking about businesses we promoted, I'm telling you, it's if not up to 1,000, it'll be close to 1,000. But
wow,
on the hub itself, yeah, we have about 350.
So like how many people did you have in your last trade fair?
90.
Like stands?
Yeah, 90. And this year we had about 100 or something. So BB is a non-for-profit. It's not something I founded to make money. I just want to add value, because my goal is to showcase Black-owned businesses, not just to the Black community, to Edmonton, because we have a lot of amazing talent. And the reason why I call it Black is because, especially for new immigrants, if you're looking to settle or you're looking for a community space where you can thrive as an entrepreneur, if I go to a city, for example, maybe I relocate, the first thing I'll be looking for online is something Black, Nigerian.
Yeah, that you can easily relate with.
Yeah, so, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about why is it Black. It's not just for Black people. Like the trade fair last year, we had so many non-Black vendors. This year, we had non-Black vendors. But the goal is to create a global village where every community can come together. And this year, the best thing that happened with BB is being arcade days. Taking 45 Black entrepreneurs to exhibit arcade days for free for 4 days. That is really amazing.
That's huge.
All of this, and honestly, it's like servitude. Everything comes to my heart because I just want people to succeed. One of the vendors arcade days this year told me that since 2010, she's been trying to be a vendor at K-Days. 2010, I was still in Nigeria hustling.
And you came and made that happen.
I made it happen. So it's like, and I believe all of these things have ripple effect.
Yeah.
Just the same way I've enjoyed a lot of grace from like Papa Wayne and all these amazing people I've met, right?
Yeah.
I believe that there's a ripple effect. Maybe in the future, my children could also be in a space where all of these things, I've helped a lot of people. I connect with business with a lot of resources, and I just love it. When I see people do well, it's not transactional. I just want people to be successful, and I want Edmonton to feel the power of community. So that's why I've been able to connect our community to so many opportunities.
Right.
And next year it can only get better because there are some bigger projects. One of the things that really made me happy this year was after the trade fair, 2 Black-owned businesses now have their products at Walmart, and it was one of the connections they made at the trade fair this year. So there's a lot of success stories behind. By the end of the day, everything is coming from the heart.
Coming from the heart. Wow. So honestly, you're doing a great stuff, and I think somehow we should find a way of celebrating you on a bigger and a larger scale. I know, even though you like to just do your, but just to even know that you're doing all this and many things at the same time, while you have your personal challenges and struggles.
Yeah.
Is really, really inspiring. And I think that's something all of us should learn from, especially the immigrant community. You can be whatever it is you set your heart to become, or do whatever it is you set your heart to do. The environment is there, is enabling for you to actually prosper and do the things you want to do. Despite whatever challenges it is. And IBK's story, I think, is one story that I think we can all draw inspiration from, right? So I'm going to ask you two questions or 3 questions in one, just in wrapping up, okay? So just very briefly, I would like to know if you were to articulate some of the core values and beliefs that you think that have helped you in your journey, especially in achieving some of these big feats, these things you're doing. What are those, if you were to articulate your core values into 2, 3, 4, what would it be? And so that some of us can also consider some of those things. That's one question. The second thing I'd like to ask is, which I think is very important, and one of the reasons why I think it's good we have this conversation, is if you have somebody who is new in Canada, just arriving or about to come, or is maybe a year or 2, what are some of those things that you would say beware of? If you were to advise, you say, hey, beware of this in your journey, right? And then on the last final note, if you had the opportunity of sitting with a policymaker in Nigeria.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe the president, or someone who has the ability to make decisions and all. What are those, maybe 1 or 2 things that you would want to advise to say, hey, if the Nigerian government can put this in place, if this is in place, that is in place, it will not just make the country a better place, but also encourage collaboration between the diaspora community and the home country.
Okay. So our first question about values. 3 solid values that I think that work for me, and I'll encourage everybody in your journey of life, apart from anything, is because life is going to test you through so many challenges.
Yeah.
The first thing you need is resilience. You need to be very, very, very resilient, because in your journey of life, you would definitely meet challenges. And without resilience, a lot will fall off. So resilience builds strength, it builds hope. and when there's hope, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
You also need to have, a little bit of gratitude, because gratitude is you have a roof over your head, despite whatever challenge, you still be grateful, for whatever you have, because the thing you wish for, so the thing you have, a lot of people are dying to have it, right?
Yeah.
For me, richness isn't monetary. If I sleep, I wake up, I have food to eat, I work.
That's real wealth.
That's wealth. Because so many people are
good relationships and all,
right?
Yeah.
And last one, I'm just trying to find the best way to put this word now. I believe in grace. I believe in grace. Everybody has
so maybe
grace.
the God factor.
Yeah, the God factor. Yeah, grace. I believe everybody has a grace. Yeah. So your grace, turn your grace into purpose. So I was going to say purpose, but it's like I want everything to merge into one. Grace. First resilience, gratitude, grace, and purpose. I believe every human being in this world have a purpose. That is why you are here on earth. Our purpose is different, right? Some people are entrepreneurs, some people are not entrepreneurs. So there's every purpose. Purpose it doesn't have to be big. Add value to everything around you. It could be your neighbors. Something I like to do in my, in my community. I say my community, in my neighborhood, is that during winter, when in snow, I will shovel my driveway. I will shovel my neighbor's driveway. I have mowed the lawn of my neighbors. Little things like that. You're adding value to people around, because I believe the earth listens. There are some things that you do. Trust me, it will find a way to make it come back to you.
Yeah.
I was at a gala yesterday, and I was surprised the way I felt celebrated. I didn't even want to go. Someone from the community got me the ticket, and I was like, a doctor said to me, she's an amazing doctor. She has a clinic in Chapel here as well. She got me a ticket to go for the gala. I just want to rest, IBK got to come. And I went to that event. People have been saying the work I do, and I'm like, oh, I know this guy. Everybody want to talk to me. I was like, oh. And then, I think one of the things that I also, I think I need to have extra one. Please, no matter what, humility. Very important. No matter how you have achieved something in life, be humble. And I'm grateful for my parents, because that is one thing. My dad was a very wealthy man, very, very wealthy, but you will not see him clout or, he's very, very humble, right? So, and I treat people with respect. So if you have all of those things, I'm telling you can be anything. When I met people yesterday, people know me even beyond I have no, just like the way you found out
I found you online.
I have no idea. And everybody just warmed up to me. And not just that, when I was going, I left with gifts that I didn't even expect. And for me, I don't do something to take back. I struggle to take from people. Like, when I do business with you, with my IT company, you could pay me. But if I'm helping you, I like people outside, please, you really help me. I'm like, I'm not doing anything, because I'm just serving, right? So, and I'm like, when I left, I left inspired, and I'm like, God, I thank you. And that's why I also return all the gratitude to God, because I feel like God is using me to touch people's lives. So if you have all of those things, you realize that you have purpose in life. Now, second question, when you're coming to this country as new, a lot of people fall into bad financial situation. You come to this country, credit card is very important. People make very, very wrong financial decisions. You get credit card, you get line of credit, you maxed it out. And if you're not careful, you get into this cycle of paying over and over. So you have to be
and they are ready to keep extending you credit. Before you know it, you are owing 50K.
Yeah, and then you can be in debt for years.
Right? And
so
keep paying.
Something, as much as credit card is good to have, but
educate yourself
on how to use it. You could go to the big store now, you want to buy a couch. They could even put you on payment plan and all of that, right? Be very, very careful. I mean, if you can afford it, get it, but you don't want to be in financial situation. And then
early,
please, even if you have a job or something, like me, I like business a lot. Just have something going on.
Have a side hustle.
Have a side hustle, please. Like it's very, very important. Have a side hustle. I will encourage anybody. You have a side hustle. You never need, and learn from people around you. You don't need to go to school to learn so many things. I'm telling you, there's so many resources on YouTube. My YouTube, maybe I listen to music sometime when I can, maybe when I'm driving, but most of the things I watch on YouTube are things educational. I teach public speaking, I learn on YouTube. Things that can give you confidence, I learned on YouTube. IT skill is 900, I learned on YouTube. Of course, there are other sites like Udemy, Linda, where you can learn this. But there's so many resources on YouTube, and I learned a lot, even as a social enterprise. So BB kind of become a social enterprise, but I didn't know nothing about social. I watched so many videos on YouTube and listen on podcasts. So when I'm doing my chores, ironing, cooking, doing my laundry, I activate my Google. I just listen to a lot of podcasts. It helped me personally, and you trust me, those things help a lot. And another advice in this country: be open-minded. You're coming from a country where, okay, you only know Nigeria or wherever your country coming from. You're only, maybe because of your upbringing, and now you come to this part of it, you meet so many people, and they have their own values and cultural value as well. So don't be judgmental. Respect somebody else's religion, respect somebody else's culture, respect somebody's way of life, respect everything, and be open-minded. Don't judge and say, because this person is XYZ, I don't want to roll here. Because at the end of the day, if you were born in that country and that is the way you were raised, that is what you
That's what you will know, yeah.
Because every culture is unique in its own way. So I don't like people discriminating that I don't want to work with this culture. I don't want to eat here. I don't want to eat. Everybody is unique in their own way. And the way you can, get yourself out of that mentality is be open-minded. Now, if you have the opportunity to sit with a policymaker in Nigeria, honestly, there's so many things I would love to say. Nigeria has so many talents. Nigeria has so many, many, many talents, right? And there's so many things that on a government level, the country can do to help to work with people in the diaspora, right? Just so many great doctors here in Nigeria. There's so many. So if only, of course, if we wouldn't be thinking of coming to Canada if Nigeria gave us what we want, right? And it's kind of called brain drain. There's so many people immigrating out of the country. So I don't really like dabbling too much into politics, but whatever policy they can do to make the country better, and not just for themselves. And then for people living in diaspora, there are so many ways we can collaborate with adding values based on our experience over here to how they can help make their policies. There's so many ideas, but I'll just advise a policymaker to just make a change, not for now, and also give the younger generation a chance, right? Because a lot of things that happen back home are like, it's kind of like, archaic way of thinking. And
recycling stuff.
And just keeps on in we're stuck. When new leadership come, it's like the same people making the policy. It just doesn't benefit the entire, country, right? That's why people just want to, get out of that country. And rather than make a specific group of people, maybe make something accessible to them, make it open to everybody, invest in education. Make education more accessible by people. Give the community a better life. Teachers, policemen, security guards, mechanics, trades. You don't know what trades is here. People that are plumbers, carpenter, electrician, welder. It is appreciated here a lot. But back home, it's not really seen. And trade is a very, very great skill to have. But back home, it doesn't get respected, right? Our polytechnics is dying. NATE that I went to. Now in Nigeria, Babcock University is a degree, bachelor degree. NATE is kind of like diploma, which is a polytechnic. But the level of knowledge I got from NATE is way advanced than what I got as a bachelor degree. So our polytechnic, I remember Yaba Tech back then used to be one of the best. Because polytechnic is supposed to be a hands-on technical, right? So make it better. Not everybody wants to do theory, right? Do hands-on training that people can learn so many skills that they can use, and they can even now become entrepreneurs. Figure out how people can be more business-oriented than just talking the cycle of, okay, you got to do, and after your bachelor, what do you get with it? Nothing. So, because for me, maybe because of where my parents believe so much in education.
Right.
So, and I feel with education, it can be wherever you want. My parents have passed away. Till today, I did not get any, they call it will from my parents. Nothing. I didn't fight over property. Till today, I've not even gotten $1 from my dad's investment. But there's one thing he gave me that till I die, nobody can take away from me. Education. If I go to any country in this world, I can survive because he gave me that education. Yeah. And with that, you can move, you can adapt, you can move mountains, you can change the world. And that's one thing nobody can take away from you. So policymakers, please help people in the country to achieve their goals.
Wow. Amazing, man. That's a good one. That's a good way to wrap this up, honestly.
Thank you. I had a good time.
Yeah, just hearing your core values and all. Amazing stuff. Resilience, gratitude, humility, being open-minded, and all of that. That's amazing. And then great tips for people who are just coming into the country. Be financially literate, understand the system. Don't rush into stuff, right? Learn before you jump into stuff, right? And all of that, and be open-minded. That's amazing.
Yeah, we're here to make changes.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ibukun Orefuja, for this powerful conversation. I mean, you're such a pleasant person to have a chat with, and really inspiring stuff that we've discussed today. Really grateful for you making time to come be with us to have this chat. So here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's been awesome time having a chat with Ibukun on Echoes of Wellington, and I'm really excited that Ibukun's voice has now become one of our foundational voices on this platform, and we'll keep building on this voice. Look out for the next guest we'll be having on this show, and I'm sure that that guest will be coming in with a new flavor, new experiences, real life lived experiences that should be celebrated, like IBK's story. And I trust that there'll be so much stuff to learn from these immigrant stories. So until we come your way again, this is Wellington Osazoa, the host of Echoes of Wellington. Always remember that here we talk about stories that leave an echo that would linger, an echo that would inspire the next generation.
Echoes of stories that are stayed. Echo with Wellington.